What's going on, fight fans? Welcome to my YouTube channel, These Things Happen in MMA. The goal of this channel is to highlight crazy and spectacular moments that have made MMA what it is today. In this episode, I'm going to talk about Anthony Showtime Pettis and his meteoric ascension to become the first ever MMA fighter to be on the iconic Wheaties cereal. This is the story of Anthony Pettis and how he got featured on the Wheaties box. Coming straight out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Pettis started his career by rattling off 8 wins in a row on the regional scene. After some impressive performances, Anthony took the next step in his journey and got called up to join the WEC. Pettis continued his rise, going 4-1 with the promotion en route to a title shot against reigning WEC lightweight champion Benson Smooth Henderson. As a bonus fun fact, Pettis was on an MTV documentary-style show called Life of Jenks that followed the lives of various people of interest. He appeared on the 4th episode entitled 50 Fists and showcased his preparation leading up to his bout with Danny Castillo.
But I actually found out about you originally. I was watching the show World of Jinx on MTV. Yeah. And they had this episode coming up about fighting, and I was, anything that was about fighting and on TV and like helping bring the sport mainstream, I was excited about. And it featured you, and so that was the first time I got to like know you and see your story. What was that experience like, and how did you get on that show?
Yeah, I think it was Sean Shelby, Dave Schaller. Dave Schaller at the time was doing WC. They reached out and they're like, hey, MTV's interested in doing a documentary on one of our fighters. They picked me, Uriah Faber. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that sent in tapes, like the promo tape. And I got a call from Andrew Jenks, and he's like, yeah, we chose you. We wanted to follow you around, and, we want to see what the life of a fighter is. And they followed me around for like 10 days before the fight. I knew what I had to do. I was Danny Castillo, a wrestler, but he likes to do those hands. Duke called the play out, I threw the play, and boom, high kick knockout. I get these big moments that just, help my career just go skyrocket.
The fight with Henderson was the main event at WEC 53 in the champ's backyard of Glendale, Arizona, and was notable for a couple reasons. The first being that this was the promotion's final event, due to the acquisition and merger with the UFC. Second being, that meant the winner of this contest was in for a big next fight against either current UFC lightweight champion Frankie Edgar or his opponent Gray Maynard. With the pressure on, the fight with Henderson was closely contested, and Pettis managed to edge out the 5th round by pulling off something yet unseen in MMA.
I don't specifically remember the moment that I decided to jump off the cage, but I remember trying, I'm gonna go for something. After I landed, I kind of zoned back into the fight, and I'm like trying to finish him, and he didn't finish. I mean, I landed pretty flush too, but it's one of them kicks you look back on, you're like, man, I don't even know how that happened.
The Showtime kick itself is an iconic moment and helped earn Pettis the win, along with the honor of being the final lightweight champion of the WEC. Now that Pettis was the victor, all that remained was a title unification bout between the winner of Edgar versus Maynard. However, the UFC vets put on an all-time classic that night that I'm sure we'll see in the Hall of Fame one day, and the fight ended in a draw. Given the drama and controversy surrounding the outcome of this contest, there'd be an immediate rematch scheduled, putting the fight with Pettis on hold. Showtime wasn't keen on remaining inactive while the title picture played out and opted to take a fight with Clay Guida. The bout wouldn't go as planned, and the Carpenter would use his superior wrestling to continuously take Pettis down. Clay won by unanimous decision, giving Pettis a loss in his UFC debut and crushing any hopes of fighting for gold in his next bout. The loss was a tough blow for Pettis, but he would bounce back 4 months later in a hard-fought win, defeating Jeremy Stephens via split decision at UFC 136. Now 1-1 in the promotion, he'd face tough veteran Joe Lauzon at UFC 144, set in Japan at the famous Saitama Super Arena. This would be the first real introduction of Showtime to UFC fans when he knocked Joe Lauzon out with a head kick a minute and a half into the first round.
Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 144 alongside Anthony Pettis, who knocked out Joe Lauzon tonight in the very first round. Was that something that you were looking for, the head kick KO?
I'm always looking for a knockout, but not against Lauzon. I thought it was going to be more of a ground fight. I came out cautious, and I was just trying to see what his game plan was.
How did it feel being out there in Japan? This is such a special place, the Saitama Super Arena. Did it feel a little more special out there for you?
I felt at home, man. I just felt really, really relaxed, really calm. Like, it was just no nerves. I just felt great. I felt like I was supposed to be there. I did a lot of hard work, and it just showed in the fight.
Everyone's been waiting and talking about, when will the real Anthony Pettis show up, the guy that we saw in WC. Did you feel that pressure on you as you were preparing for this fight? Did you think that you needed to do that right now to show your true self?
Definitely. I mean, last year was a horrible year for me. I got 1 win and 1 loss. The win wasn't that great. This is how I win. I win always with knockouts or a submission. I always look for the finish, and I was getting too many decisions in the last couple of fights, and I just changed the little things up at training, and I'm back.
The rest of 2012 would prove frustrating for Pettis as surgeries and injuries prevented him from competing. However, he'd pick up right where he left off come the start of 2013. In his first fight of the year, he'd take on Donald Cowboy Cerrone at UFC on Fox Johnson vs. Dodson. The bout ended with another first-round finish for Pettis as he stopped Cowboy with a body kick 2.5 minutes in. The win catapulted Pettis into a title fight and came as the result of top contender TJ Grant being forced to withdraw from his title bout due to an injury. He'd be facing a familiar opponent and once again reigning lightweight champion, Benson Henderson. While Pettis lost his UFC debut, Bendo won his along with 2 other fights in 2011, earning himself a title shot against Frankie Edgar, who emerged as the victor in the trilogy with Maynard. Henderson made the most of his opportunity, snatching the belt from the future Hall of Famer and winning their contest by unanimous decision. Benson would then defend his belt 3 more times, rematching Edgar and beating Nate Diaz and Gilbert Melendez. This led to a huge rematch between the final 2 WEC lightweight champions, set to take place at UFC 164, this time in Showtime's backyard of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Right away, Henderson would pressure Pettis, using his grappling and not allowing any room to work. The fight remained this way for the first 3.5 minutes until Pettis was able to create some space and land a barrage of body kicks that noticeably hurt the champ. That sequence led to a scramble, and in true Showtime fashion, he slapped on a lightning-fast armbar that caused Henderson to verbally tap before the crowd even knew what happened. The finish was unique in that everyone in attendance had no idea Pettis won until he was already celebrating on top of the cage for a couple seconds. Pettis had beat Henderson for a second time and was the new UFC lightweight champion. After his title victory, the division was put on hold for a year and a half until Pettis could recover from knee surgery. Although untimely, he returned to face Gilbert Melendez at UFC 181 in December of 2014. The fight was built up and promoted in a couple of ways. Pettis and Melendez served as coaches on the 20th season of The Ultimate Fighter, which was also the introduction of the highly anticipated women's strawweight division. It was roughly around this time that the iconic cereal brand Wheaties announced a partnership with MapMyFitness to have a contest where fans could vote to see who would appear on the next box.
What's up, UFC fans? Right now we have a contest going on called the Wheaties Challenge, where fans get to vote for which athlete they want to appear on a Wheaties box, and representing the UFC is lightweight champion Anthony Pettis. All you have to do is go to mapmyfitness.com, join Team Pettis, and you have to log 2 votes a day. We want to win this Wheaties Challenge. Let's beat all these other sports. Come on, UFC fans, help us out.
5 world-class athletes were chosen for fans to vote between by logging in workouts on the MapMyFitness platform. The athletes chosen were motocross star Ryan Dungey, U.S. national women's soccer star Kristen Press, American Blade Runner Blake Lepper, lacrosse all-star Rob Pannell, and UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis. Out of all the workouts logged, nearly half were for Pettis, meaning he was to be the first ever MMA fighter to appear on a Wheaties box. The fight with Melendez was set for December 6th of 2014, and 2 days later on December 4th was the big reveal.
All right, gang, so obviously, we all know what this is. Very first UFC athlete to ever grace the cover of Wheaties magazine, the Wheaties box. A very proud moment for us. Again, another milestone. Anthony, you want to do it?
That's big. I think I'm doing something right. I mean, I think with the year off, this was definitely something I was looking forward to the whole time. And now that the fight's here, the Wheaties is here, I feel like I'm picking right back up where I left off. So for the UFC to pick me as the person to represent the sport is it's huge. I mean, that just makes me proud and makes me more motivated to keep doing what I'm doing.
Wheaties cereal is a well-known brand that's distributed nationwide across thousands of grocery stores. Because of that, many new faces will get their first introduction to Showtime as well as the sport. When the big reveal happened, it truly felt like a historic milestone for MMA, and now all that remained was for Showtime to go and win his fight against Melendez. The bout wouldn't start ideally for Pettis, as El Nino managed to control most of the fight and land some decent shots. Gilbert continued the pressure, but Pettis managed to land a counter that dropped Melendez. After locking in a tight guillotine, Melendez was forced to tap 2 minutes into the second round. Showtime was now a bona fide star, with a title defense behind him in a brand new Wheaties box. This appeared to be the makings of a superstar, the likes of which the sport had never seen. As fate would have it though, the championship run would be short-lived as Pettis lost his title in his next bout against tough Brazilian Rafael dos Anjos. Pettis would never reach the pinnacle of the sport again, mostly trading wins and losses in his next 13 fights. However, there'd still be plenty of memorable moments left in Showtime's UFC career. In December of 2020, after 12 years with the company, Pettis announced his departure from the UFC and thanked the promotion for everything they afforded him. The very next day, Pettis announced he had signed with the PFL in hopes to win their tournament, with the winner receiving $1 million. Showtime might not be a champion anymore, but he's still one of the more popular fighters out there and has definitely left his mark on the sport. The Showtime kick is still talked about to this day and remains as one of MMA's top highlights. His title fights with Benson Henderson and the way they went down couldn't have been written any better and feels like something out of a movie. With his impressive run and gracing the cover of Wheaties, he brought a whole new level of shine to a growing sport. He still remains as the only MMA fighter to appear on the Wheaties box. Many fighters would dream of having a career the likes of Anthony Pettis, and his contribution to the sport will forever be etched in the history books. As always, I posted some related videos down below for those interested in taking a look. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with a topic you'd like to hear me cover in a future episode. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel.
UFC 246, Anthony Pettis, the former lightweight champ, moving back down to 155. What's at stake for you in this fight?
Man, honestly, not much. People are counting me out. They think I'm losing. I'm the underdog already. I'm just out here to have fun.
Are you at that point in your career where you want to be back in the title picture? You also want to make big-time money. You want to call out those big-time names. You want to sort of match yourself in as fun a fight as possible.
No, I already did all that. I did the big names. I did the world title shots. It's not just being the best. You got to be popular. You got to sell fights. There's so much that comes along with that side of it. But I did the media. I did the sponsors. I've done it all. I'm 13 years as a professional in this career. At this stage of my career, it's really about my mental health, and I think I attached to that so well this game.
You've had a lot of highs in your career. Good God, the cover of a Wheaties box. How many Wheaties boxes do you own right now?
I got like a ton of them, man. They gave me like 1,000 of them that weren't like made, so it was like one-offs. But I still have all the highs, biggest highs in his career, lowest lows in his career. But I love it.
Will there ever be a second Showtime kick that lives up to that Benson Henderson one?
I don't know if it would live up to the Ben Henderson one. I mean, I landed that in the 5th round of a title fight. That's like, and I won the world title with it. So I don't know if it'll add up to that, but I'm looking for them. It's not like I'm not looking for Showtime kicks. It has to present itself. These guys are pressuring me a lot more, so it doesn't allow me to get them flashy kicks off.
Did that first Showtime kick ever a curse for you? Did you ever feel like you had to live up to that?
No, not at all. No, I mean, I knew it was beautiful. I mean, you watch it now, it's something that's just written in history. It's like, you can't write a better story. It was tied going into that round, and I pulled it off and win the fight. So, no, it was beautiful.